What's up, everybody? Unrested here, and of course I need to make a video today. I need to obviously follow up with these election results, and everybody's been blowing up my email, my Facebook, my Twitter, my inbox on YouTube, asking me, what do you think now? So it's as good a time as any. I might as well get this out of the way and answer everybody's questions on my personal thoughts, as well as just kind of, I guess, do a more objective look of how this whole election process went, and what my thoughts are for the future of not just America, but I guess America's interaction with Japan as well. So first of all, let me start out with the congratulations. Congratulations to all my Republican friends who voted for Trump. I personally am of the belief, no matter who you were voting for, Hillary or Trump or the Green Party or the Liberal Party, I myself did not vote. I will let you know that right now. This is the first time ever I have not voted. I have not filled out an absentee ballot while I was in Japan. But I'll get into that later why. But I still feel like it's appropriate to always say congratulations no matter what. I just think it's a sign of good sportsmanship because, let's be honest, the whole election process is a game. And someone eventually does win, and you do need to congratulate them. I am a little disappointed that Hillary did not give a concession speech. Actually kind of surprised by that. I feel like that is actually pretty poor sportsmanship. But anyway, let's just get into this. I'm going to start off, I made a little bit of a list here on some stuff that I want to go over. I hope to take this as objectively as possible. I'm not taking anybody's side here. If you are a Trump lover and you are a fan of my channel, I still love you too. If you're a Hillary lover, I'm still, happy you're part of my channel too. I love you too. Liberal, Green Party, whatever your political beliefs are, aside from, I guess, like if you're a neo-Nazi, I'd prefer you unsub. But really, I'm down with whatever you're down with, okay? I'm not saying I believe the exact same things, but I'm very open to the idea of people having many different beliefs, religions, politics, creeds, etc., etc. You're all welcome here on the Unrested channel. So please don't unsub just because I don't agree with every single thing that you believe or don't believe in. Okay, worst parts of the election. These are the parts of the election that I hated the most. I hate the online hatred. And this goes for almost every party involved. I mean, this goes for Bernie lovers, for Hillary, Trump. The bickering back and forth online. I get it. People are passionate about what they believe in. They're passionate about their political beliefs. But when it always degrades into name calling and mudslinging and trash, I mean, it's I don't like it. I really don't like it when I see people do stuff like, I unfriended this person today because they didn't agree with my belief in Trump, or I unfriended this person because they didn't like my thoughts on Hillary. And it's just like, come on, man, really? Like, don't break apart your friendships within your close friends, your loved ones, your family. Those people are way more important than any stupid political stuff that you'll believe in. The people that are your closest friends and family in life are so much more important than any political argument you will ever have. Why you would waste this short life that we're given on defriending them over just some simple political beliefs is, man, just what a waste. What a waste, man. I hate seeing that. I hate seeing politics divide people. People defriending each other, people acting like their politician is a good friend. Yeah, I hate this. People who think like Hillary or Trump is like their BFFL, or even, Bernie people thought like Bernie is their BFFL, or Liberal or Green Party people. They're not your best friend. They are definitely out for number one first. I know a lot of people think like, when they get in there, they're really going to take care of me. Yes, they're going to take care of all the things that I believe in. No, the first person that any president, I don't care which party, Democrat or Republican, is going to take care of is themselves first, and then second is going to be their family. They're going to line their pockets with money first. They're going to make sure the generation after them and their family is taken care of. Maybe later down the line, they'll take care of you, all right? And even then, if your whatever political ramp or whatever your cause is not really high up on the scale, it's a very minor thing, good luck getting that taken care of while that person is in office. And that goes for Obama too. Obama's there for himself first. He's there to take care of himself. He's there to take care of his family. And then if he happens to do a few things that help you out, great. That's every president that's ever existed, okay? Except for maybe like our forefathers. But why people ever bring up like our founding fathers of the nation? Like, that's not what our founding fathers would have done. Our founding father, screw that. Our founding fathers would be excited by airplanes if they saw that. They wouldn't be able to handle anything that we deal with in modern times. Like, bringing up their thoughts on our current modern situation is so pointless. I never understand why anybody does that. Anyway, the best parts. I'd have to say my number one thing I like the most about these elections is I felt like this was the first time the American people really stood up and raised a big middle finger to the government. It was the first time there was a big FU to the government. They don't think they're handling stuff correctly, and they are not. The government is taking care of only the government. Congress is only taking care of Congress. The middle class, the poverty-ridden, even some of the upper class are not being taken care of anymore. Everybody's out for themselves as far as the government's concerned, and I'm glad America's finally wising up to that and taking charge. I like to see how it shows how fed up America is. I would say, even though I did not personally vote for Trump, it surprised me and really made me see that America is really fed up with the government when he was elected. It really showed me that people want a big change. I will also say that the 15,000 people that voted for Harambe too, great FU to the government. I think that's hilarious. And although some people are just saying, oh, well, they screwed up everything and they don't care and their vote's so apathetic. No, that's another big FU to the government, and that's their way of saying it. So good for them too. The other good part I'd have to say is I think this is the first time the whole world was watching. I think in the past we've had very vanilla elections. You can vote for one party or the other, but they're really not very polarizing. Whereas this time it was, and it caused the whole world to watch. All right, now we're going to get into stuff that might end up having some people unsub. Please don't do that. All right, this is just me observing from an objective viewpoint. Again, I don't hate you if you like Hillary. I don't hate you if you like Trump. I don't hate you for anything you like as far as politics. I don't want to argue with you and I don't want to fight with you. I just want to let you know what I thought while watching all of this, okay? Can I do that? Can I do that? Can we still be friends after, please? All right. How Hillary handled things poorly. First of all, the one thing I didn't like, and this was one thing that I really saw pushed by a lot of, I guess, Hillary and the Democrat side, is that they kept calling out Trump that he was a racist and that he had crazy racists following him. He had the KKK following him, supporting him. He had other radical parties following him and supporting him. But Hillary also had the feminist side, the crazy, overly libertarian side, the absolute nutty, like, feminazi side following her too. So I mean, both sides had their crazy people, okay? Both sides had their, socially corrupt people, however you want to say they are. Both people had their crazies, okay? Another thing was the Pepe meme. Why she had to bring that to the table to try and fight Donald Trump, I don't know. That is like an 8-year-old meme. And no one for a second believed that Donald Trump was like associated with Nazis and stuff like that. That's so ridiculous. That was a poor choice to use to fight against Hillary. He was pulling out things like the letters that she was in trouble with and some of the criminal acts that people accused her of. I'm saying accused, okay, don't jump. And the best thing she could pull out was like the Pepe meme and just, like his general trash talk. How many people are guilty of trash talk? How many people are guilty of trash talk? No concession speech. That's the next thing I've got written here. Hillary, man, what are you doing? Anybody should give a concession speech. Donald Trump, if he lost, should have given a concession speech. Would he have? I think he would have. After seeing his speech for attaining presidency, I felt like he would have been well-spoken enough to generally say I was defeated. The other big thing that was really cringy. I mean, not just this not giving a concession speech, but having Lady Gaga get up and have all these movie stars and musicians come up and support you. Sometimes I feel like that's such a humiliating aspect of America. The fact that we let our stars try to tell us who we should vote for. You don't see that in Japan at all. I hate that crap. I feel it's like, oh, well, we're stars, you know, we make a lot of money and we're really smart because we can act. So you should definitely listen to our political opinion, okay? Like, that's the way I feel. And the whole Lady Gaga thing was cringy, man. Why? Why did you do that at the end? I feel like that was like a bad move at the end. Things Trump handled well that I feel like got him the election was he stayed himself the whole time. No matter how much, and even I said, Hillary is a criminal. I said, Donald Trump is an asshole. Asshole is just a judgment of character. Criminal is actually something that can morally put you in jail. Being an asshole really doesn't morally affect your life, aside from some people are going to call you an asshole. I have friends who are assholes, okay? He stayed himself the whole time. He never stopped being an asshole and saying asshole comments. He was never bullied. You know, the stuff he said was not him being fake at all. That was like his honest to God thought. I guess it does help that he wasn't completely controlled by lobbyists like a lot of politicians in the past have been for the last 30 years. He will not be taking the president's salary. I was always really amazed by this. I really hope that's going to follow through and that really is going to be something he does. He really doesn't take the president's salary. I mean, that's not going to save the country a massive amount of money. I think the president makes something like $100,000, right? It's not a ton of money, but it does show at least an iota of hope for a better economic situation for America. I don't know. He's not going to be supporting Obamacare. I don't know how you feel about Obamacare. Personally, I'm not a big fan. I've seen it screw over a lot of my friends. I've seen it screw over a lot of my friends who are not middle class. Any of my friends who are below the middle class line are getting totally screwed over by Obamacare. The amount of money you have to hit to be able to have Obamacare take care of you seems to be a ridiculous amount. Like, you need to get hit by a pickup truck before they finally start taking care of your medical bills, which at that point you're either going to be dead or bankrupt. I don't think Obamacare is very good. You know, feel free to argue me on that point. That's fine. I'm sure people can find stuff to throw at me. The biggest thing, and this is the one thing, the only thing that really caught my attention during his 100-day plan speech, and if you haven't listened to that, you need to go listen to that, is the fact that he doesn't want to support TPP. And explaining all of the Trans-Pacific trade situation and what that deals with is hard. I'm not going to use my video to explain that, but it deals a lot with Japan and pretty much American companies pushing their products in Japan, pushing the way they handle food, being able to sell their food, being able to control things like medicine, agriculture, fruits, vegetables, and everything in Japan, and meat too. Having, you know, companies like Monsanto come in and fuck everything up. Sorry for the language, but I mean, they do. They don't make good food. Japan's got really healthy, really rich in vitamin and nutrients and minerals food because they don't pump it full of chemicals. There's a lot of the dyes they don't use here. And I'm not like some sort of hippie, earthy person who's like, I gotta only eat the cleanest food ever. Okay, I'm not that health conscious. I do eat pretty healthy. As you can see at 37, I'm still pretty good shape. But what I don't want is I don't want America's hand on our medicine or food here. We've got a good situation here in Japan. Japan's got great food. Japan's got good medical care. I don't want America touching that stuff. So I was really happy to hear, you know, Donald Trump will not be supporting the TPP because that's what would have messed with that stuff. That's what would have messed all that up. How it would have messed that up is a gigantic explanation that I just can't get into right now. But I'm really happy to hear he's going to shut that down. It's not going to follow through. And that is something that he can't just promise and then let slide, because if he just doesn't follow through with it, nothing happens. It hasn't fully gone through yet. Pretty much to make it not happen, he has to literally do nothing. The other good thing I heard about is that he wants to stop China from pretty much distorting the value of their money. I don't know how much you guys understand about this aspect of China, but pretty much they've never been part of the open world market, and their money is kind of kept to its own sort of economic system, and they either inflate it or deflate it to make themselves earn as much money as possible, which works out great for them and sucks for the rest of the world. Meanwhile, I see them bully Japan every day and use their power and their tactics to do so, and I feel like Trump kind of throwing a wrench into the gears is going to mess that up. And good, I want to see like the bullying stop. These are kind of really these last two things I just mentioned are really subjective. These are really like only something that helps me. Sorry. I'm going to tell you just from my perspective on those two. And last but not least, I have to say he made a good victory speech. All right. I felt like the best part of his message during the victory speech was that now that all this election BS is over, let's come together as Americans, no matter what our creed, code, religion, beliefs, etc. are, and be America again. And I really hope we can do that. I really hope we can. I hope this like infighting within America stops after all this. No matter whose side you took. Again, I still don't love Trump. I still don't believe Trump's going to do everything he said he's going to do. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that he said. I definitely don't agree with a lot of his views on LGBT, on abortion, on religion, on sometimes sounding very racist. I don't like that he sounds racist at times. Do I have a choice of who's president now? No, I don't. So I got to make the best of the situation. So I'm telling you the things I like. Okay, so worries people have written to me about. These are like kind of the emails I got kind of focused on this. Worries people have for Japan. Trump will remove the military bases from Japan and Japan will be attacked by China or North Korea. Guys, that's not going to happen. I know Trump slightly talked about this kind of stuff. He said, Japan will sit there watching their Sony TVs while America defends them. And so I think we should remove the bases and stuff like that. We should stop giving them military. He didn't specifically say, I think we should remove the bases. He said that we should stop offering so much military help to Japan. I don't know if you guys know this, but Okinawa has actually been trying to get rid of their base for ages, and it's not happened. And that's with Japan itself trying to remove them. If Japan itself can't remove them within its own country, with its own government and its own prime minister, I don't think Donald Trump's going to be able to do that. And he's not going to. He's not going to. Guys, removing the bases from Japan is such a harder task than everybody imagines. I think people think of military bases in Japan and can think of at least the Okinawa one, and some people know that there's one in Yokohama, and they think there's like literally two bases that are just like two separate buildings that have like, a couple 100 to 1,000 soldiers. No, it's way more complicated than that. It's literally, I think 12 or 13 different bases scattered all throughout Okinawa. There's a bunch of bases up in Yokohama too, and there's bases in other parts of Japan too. It's not just those two places. And they're so ingrained as part of the economy within Okinawa especially, that it would be like saying, you know what, I don't like this cake anymore. I'm going to remove the eggs from it so it deflates and put the eggs back in their shell and restore them to their old form. You can't do that. And the same thing goes for these bases. I mean, it would be the equivalent to saying you're going to do that. So although people may think that's what he meant, or that's what he's going to try and do, I seriously doubt it. I would be incredibly surprised if that happened. I would, Japan may remove their base from Okinawa and settle it somewhere else. They're not talking about completely removing it, but they want to get rid of it from Okinawa and resettle it somewhere else. That may happen eventually, but I really don't see Trump coming in here and removing. I mean, that's got to be like the least thing on his mind. The first thing he's got to do is prove that he's going to build this wall, quote unquote. Come on, really? I mean, I'll be really surprised if he carries through with 1% of the stuff that he promised, because he's a politician, guys. And this is what all politicians do. They promise a bunch of stuff, they get into office, and then they follow through with nothing. And in this situation, maybe it's not even his fault. With the presidents, I just feel like they go in there thinking they're going to do a lot, find out their hands are tied by Congress and get nothing done. They're pigeonholed the whole time, got to cut through so much red tape that maybe they get one or two big things done, and that's it. The presidency's over. I mean, look at Obama. What did he do? He got Osama bin Laden killed. He got Obamacare. That's 2 things in 8 years. Yeah, I'm sure there's like a ton of small, tiny things that he did, like tiny little micro work that he got done with, different legislation and stuff. But overall, those are the 2 big things that stick out in your mind. There's not like a Berlin Wall that got knocked down because Obama was president, okay? There was not a massive economic change for the best or for the worst even. Things stayed the same because Congress never let anything pass. Okay. Oh yeah, let me just address the fact that people who think North Korea is going to attack Japan, no. If Japan gets hurt by North Korea, it's going to be because they made a mistake with a nuclear bomb, okay? North Korea they're a joke, guys. They're put together with like Band-Aids and bubble gum. You can't really take them serious. Okay, my predictions. All right, these are just my predictions. I kind of just already talked about this just a second ago. And again, I'm not saying this is because of Donald Trump. I'm saying like any president that would be in there, including Hillary too, I would have the same prediction actually. Not much will change, okay? I think maybe the biggest thing you'll see happen is Obamacare gets dismantled. Then Trump will leave complaining that it wasn't easy to change anything because Congress keeps getting in the ways. Guys, getting Congress to agree on passing stuff is like getting the internet to order a pizza that they agree on with toppings. It doesn't happen. I feel, and this is me totally spitballing, this is me theorizing, this is my, I guess, conspiracy theory, if you want to call it that. I'm not a very big fan of conspiracy theories. I feel like the president is something that allows America to feel like they have a choice via electoral college. You get to choose who's president. Now you only get 2 choices, but you get to choose, wow. And then that person gets in there, and then Congress pretty much draws a big thing of red tape around them and never lets them get anything done. And they keep all the money for themselves. They line the pockets of the president and they help the next generation. They say, you know what, we'll give you so much money that you and your grandkids and your grandkids' grandkids are going to be rich for so long. Don't you want that? What's more important, you pass a few bills or your family's safe forever? And most of the times I think most presidents take that. They're like, yeah, I'll just take a bunch of money. That's cool. Peace out. Sorry, guys, I didn't get to do anything. Congress held my hands behind my back. And I worry that that's going to happen with Trump too. I worry that that would have happened with Hillary, even more so actually. I worry it would have happened with the Liberal Party or the Green Party too. Anybody, okay? We just watched it happen with Obama, okay? The only thing I will say that Trump has going for him is the fact that he can't be as fazed by lobbyist money because he has his own money. He can't be as fazed by a lot of the material and monetary gifts that, big companies, big banks, big law would offer, whereas perhaps past presidents who were looking to make more of a name and more money for themselves would have. So that's my hope. That's my hope is that I'm totally wrong, that I'm absolutely 100% dead wrong. And, I say there's no changes going to happen. America's going to be almost exactly the same when Donald Trump leaves. If I am 100% wrong, awesome. I really, really want to be wrong, guys. I really do. I want to see, this be an absolute total change in America where we're like, holy cow, like I can't believe how much of the stuff this guy is doing. If Trump just turns around everything to an amazing point where we can't believe how good the economy is doing, our different relations with other countries are doing amazing. He pulls all the military out of all these different wars and gets our veterans better benefits. I will make a whole video apologizing to Trump and saying, good God, was I wrong? You are amazing, okay? But until that happens, no. I mean, I really think nothing much is going to change. He's going to dismantle Obamacare. Maybe that'll be the big thing he gets done while he's in office. Not much else is going to really change, okay? That's just me spitballing. I have no proof behind any of that. Take it for what you want, okay? To end this video, and I need to get to an end. I'm almost at 30 minutes already, Jesus. If you watch this whole thing, thank you. And I hope I didn't lose you as a sub. I hope I didn't lose you as a viewer. I hope I didn't lose you as an audience. I want to say, now that this is over, can we all just get along again? Can we, please? Please. I think the thing that America does best is take so many races and so many creeds and so many religions and so much politics and pushes them together into one country and forms one country. Let's be that again. Let's be friends again, okay? Let's be neighbors again, Let's love each other again, okay? I love you no matter who you chose, okay? I love you no matter if you chose, you know, Donald Trump. I love you if you chose Hillary. I love you if you chose the Green Party. I love you if you chose the Liberal Party. I love you a little bit more if you chose Harambe, okay? I'm gonna leave you with that. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me. I'm unrested with the questions you request by email. Until next time, stay safe, love your neighbor, get along, and please, let's all just drop this hate.